Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the fourth episode of Season 3. In the last episode, our guest was Miss Jamie Bossy, RFC, who shared her insights on educating children about personal financial planning and how her circumstances during college led her to shift from being a teacher to becoming a financial consultant. So for those who missed the past episodes, especially those with Nick Royer, MRFC, and even that of Mr. Barry Daly, MRFC, no need to worry. We now have our RFC Tuesday Rewind that notifies all of those following and who subscribe to our Facebook page of any episodes that we will be playing in between of the weeks that we air our live broadcast. So, ayan. But of course, do not forget to subscribe and like the page so that you will get the notification. Our podcast episodes are shown every second and fourth Tuesday of the month. That is why it is important to follow us on Facebook. So episodes are pre-recorded and will be broadcasted through Facebook Live.
This show is powered by IARFC PH, the Philippine chapter of the International Association of Registered Financial Consultants. The IARFC PH is an association dedicated to the craft of financial consulting, and it is the sole organization authorized to conduct the RFC conversion courses as well as continuing education in the field of financial consulting. I'm Boyet Benavides, registered financial consultant and president of IARFC PH and a trust professional, together with
Kuya Ryan Daes, a registered financial consultant, a chartered wealth manager, and a registered estate planner. So good evening, everyone. Again, thank you. Thank you for joining us. So special thanks, by the way, for to Miss Susan Capa of IARFC USA Public Relations. She was very instrumental in setting up and arranging Season 3 para maging international na ang RFC Tuesday podcast. Special thanks to her. And also, let us not forget our interim video editor out of naka-loan out of love to us. Passion project niya siguro to. Si Mr. Bong Escobar. Ever since we started the third season, he took over the editing post for our good friend Francis, who can't join us because of conflicts in his schedule. So thank you again, Miss Susan and Sir Bong. And so, by the way, mga taong nanonood sa FB Live, thank you for joining us. Please do not forget to put in your questions on the chat box kasi we can also answer your questions live because we will be watching the podcast with you. So, wag kayong mahiya, wag kayong matakot. If you need to point out something, you need something to be clarified, don't be afraid, don't be shy. Please put it in the chat box.
Ladies and gentlemen, and the RFC, we have tonight with us Dr. Jeffrey Chu, RFC, CFP, CHFC, CLU, Sharia RFP, Siam LUTCF, and DBA. He is the Greater Asia Chairman of the International Association of Registered Financial Consultants and recipient of the Lauren Dunton Award. For 39 years, he has been life and qualifying member of the $1 Million Roundtable and has been admitted to the Hall of Fame. He is listed as one of the top 20 Malaysians through success stories. He has been bestowed the title Grand Master of Life Insurance and also the top financial planner by Inspirator. He has been president of NAMLIFA, president of the Chartered Financial Consultants Alumni, president of the Life Underwriters Sales Executive Board, and the council chair of the Asia Pacific Life Insurance Council in 1993. He has written several bestsellers, which includes How to Be a Superachiever, The Art of Selling, The Science of Agency Management, and the king of insurance. Tonight, friends, let us all welcome Dr. Jeffrey Chu. Good evening, Dr. Chu. Thank you for joining us this evening. We're very honored that you have accepted our invitation. You have mentioned before that you don't treat this pandemic as a challenge or as a problem. You treat it more as like an opportunity for us RFCs. Why do you say that?
Basically, the most people have already given up when the pandemic sets in. So I have a statement in my office that says, "Throw me to the lion, and I'll come back leading a pack." So you first and foremost have to really stay positive in this challenging time. The rich are getting richer. You know, the wealthier Jeff Bezos increased his wealth last year by 100 billion, Bill Gates by 50 billion, Warren Buffett by 40 billion, and the middle class actually is getting poorer, and the poor is getting homeless or hungry. And I start this morning meeting because with a proverb, actually a small statement by this person called Mary Ann, and he said, because I call it a challenge rather than a crisis. Because I look at hardship as opportunity instead of as obstacle. Because at the end of a matter, I ask, what will I learn from this to make me better? Because I take a deep breath and do the difficult thing first. Because my courage doesn't depend on the weather, the economic forecast, or the winds of wind. Because I know the most significant element in my day are laughter, learning, and applying my finest effort to each endeavor. Because of these things, each morning is a pleasure, and every day past is a success. So I love this statement by Mary Ann, and it's actually very meaningful in this type of difficult, challenging time. That's why this started supposed to be opportunities in pandemic time. So we changed that to opportunity in challenging times. We challenge ourselves. How can I come up better, stronger, richer in spite of this pandemic? So you see the opportunities taken by all those wealthy people. They are flying to space. They are doing a lot of things, and they've been making a lot of money. Similarly, in Malaysia, we identify certain groups of people doing very well. Particularly those in the glove business, the hand glove business, they're doing very well. So we have been approaching all this niche marketing, and that's the reason why I have a head start compared with most people. So first, number one, stay positive, and that's very essential. Okay.
Nice.
So I hope this talk will be. They say a good webinar is actually is like a bikini. You have to be short, it must be brief, and cover the important parts. So I hope you cover all that. Okay, that's how we get started. We stay positive and get moving from there, okay?
Those are great insights, Dr. Chu. I mean, we should not look at our current situation as a problem, but more of as an opportunity. And we should be ready to spot niches that will allow us to derive those opportunities and gain from those opportunities.
Right on.
Very nice. Very nice. Sir.
So in this kind of situation, what kind of, say, budgeting would be suitable for our clients?
We do what we call in budgeting, we do what we call the reverse budgeting. As compared with the income, you save what you have. The normal way is income minus expenses equals saving, right? And they say what they have. Usually income minus expenses equal nothing left,
Yes.
And that's all. So reverse budgeting is a different approach. What we do is we automated all those saving first. So let's say we want to save 20%. We put aside that 20% by automation, then we start spending. This form of reverse automation works in a lot of circumstances like that. Okay, so instead of doing the normal way, we do what we call reverse budgeting. How much you want to save, how much you can save, then we decide how much you can spend. And we automated those savings, and those savings are usually increased incrementally. So you increase by 1%, another 2%, 3%, until the time you feel a bit not comfortable. And when you are not comfortable, that is almost the max, the best time to actually carry on that similar figures. So that's how you do reverse budgeting. And most important in this pandemic, we have to really look at the 5 scores of investing. So what are the 5 scores now? I don't know, in Manila you use the word score. The British use score. One score equal to 20 units. One score is 20 years, 20 units of everything. So the British have this 5 scores of investing. They call it the first score year. The year you are born, 0 to 20. This is the first score year. So this is investing in human capital. You send him to school, send him for tuition. You try to learn as much as you can do in this first score year, 20 years, okay? The second score year, that is from 20 to 40 years old, is a wealth accumulation stage. You should try out all these things and make as much wealth as you can and learn about wealth building, wealth accumulation. And then you move into the third score year, that is from 40 years to 60 years, okay? And this is about growth and consolidation. You want your wealth that you are accumulating to continue to grow. And you want them to, you also want them to consolidate their wealth as well during this period. Then you move to the fourth score year. The fourth score year is from 60 years old to 80 years old. So in this particular fourth score year, you do what we call portfolio restructuring. You try to restructure your portfolio because now you are aging. You are now almost 80, And if you reach 80 and continue to live to 100, you will actually realize we call the 5 score year. The 5 score year is from 80 to 100. So your main purpose will be on capital conservation as well as wealth distribution. So your main focus will be in this area. So that's actually, we finish with the 5 score year, give you a little bit idea of actually how I manage my client on this 5 score year. Okay?
Those are great pointers, Dr. Chu. I mean, the 5 score year. So everybody should bear that in mind for their own, as well as for their own personal planning. I mean, we should start with ourselves and then so that we can advise our clients properly.
Correct.
That gives a better perspective for clients on how they should be planning their finances. That's very good sharing, sir, Dr. Chu. Anyways, we all know that with the pandemic, many people lost wealth. There are investments that shrunk by as much as 30 to 40%. What are the kind of investment strategies do you recommend that could perhaps curtail these things from happening in the future? Because many people lost wealth because of the things that have happened, because economies closed down, right, Dr. Chu? So with your learnings from even before the pandemic, of course, we went through the global financial crisis, even the Asian financial crisis. What strategies do you recommend so that clients don't experience such problems, or at least at the very least cushion the effect of these things in their investments?
Very good question, Ryan. And in fact, actually, if you have been on the medium to long term, then you'll find that you are okay. This is not going to be forever, maybe 2 years or 3 years, and then you'll be over. The disease may still be on an endemic basis, but the stock market will recover and they'll continue to do well, because I foresee in the next 6 to 12 months, the stock market is going to rally again. Basically, when most of the people in the world are being vaccinated, so things will start picking up, supply chain will begin to re-establish themselves, and people will demand products and coming in and services. and this will go. You see, the trouble with most people is actually they try to take a very short-term view of everything. For instance, this guy was buying a Bitcoin, was telling me he bought a 1 million, he put 1 million in the Bitcoin. He's making some money, and he went to 2 million, and then he went to 3 million, and then he figured I should sell. And when he want to sell, the price dropped back to 2 million. Anyway, he said, I make money, I sell. And after he sold for 2 million, the price began to come back again, 3 million, 5 million, 6 million, 8 million, 10 million. What's he to do now? So why did he sell in the first place? You see? No, because you sell for a specific purpose. I sell because I want to buy a piece of property. That's a different story. You want to diversify. I sell, I want to put money in the bank. You cannot be this, giving you more money than this. Why are you doing that? And if it drop down, what's the problem? Let it drop. Stock market always go up, go down, go up higher and go down, go up higher and go down and go up higher. Our only concern is when you go into a parabolic, meaning you go straight all the way up. And that's where you get the crash will begin. So if you are on the medium to long term, it should be okay. So last year have been a very fairly good return. Our individual investment is getting about 62% from the pandemic, return, And on average, and this year we're also getting equally good, and we're expecting a better time when we are all vaccinated, So looking forward, always invest for the medium to the long term, and ask you everything you ask, why are you selling? What's your purpose? I'm selling because I want to diversify. That makes sense to me, You felt you are too much at risk. I'm selling because I think I want to take profit. Profit for what? The next one must be higher than this one, must be better,
Yes.
So a lot of people exit, and you know what happened now? Those guys who exited now, it went to 60,000, and so on, It's getting crazy, the market, So, okay. So basically, investing, we have actually used a few strategies. I think we cannot touch on all those investment strategy, such as the golden butterfly strategy or the 60-40 portfolio, or we can use, actually, basically, we for financial planning, we focus on 3 investment strategy. One, dollar cost averaging, DCA, meaning you put a fixed amount every month. I'm more favor for the variable cost averaging, meaning to say you increase it in bad times. Now is a bad time. Now's the time you're supposed to increase it. So when
I
the
agree with
market
that.
pick up, you actually ride with the storm. So I dabra my contribution because it's a variable cost averaging. Or we use the third one called market timing. And market timing is a very different approach. You have to time the market. You think it's a good time to go in. In fact, we got a lot of clients actually moving in right now, getting ready for the market picking up eventually. The market have only one way to go, but to go up, basically because this pandemic have taken a toll on a lot of businesses, and any other thing will be better than what you are having now. So basically, most financial planners recommend DCA. The reason they recommend dollar cost averaging is they don't want the client to feel they lost out in a very short term. And DCA will actually overcome the problem of that, answering but the idea here now is should be actually maybe focusing on variable cost averaging, maybe focusing on market timing. There is such thing. And you can make, most of my clients actually, last year, for instance, the mutual fund return for our clients about 16% per annum. Not too bad, For the Provident Fund, of which I'm a trustee, we are getting 62% from equity.
Wow.
So,
That's fantastic.
So it's a good year. We launched a fund somewhere in about April of 2020. And that fund is getting 45% return year to date. So it has been a good run if you actually can help your client. You need the knowledge though, learn up all there is to learn about the market, how the market will respond. Going up, making a correction, that's normal. Going up again, making a correction, that's quite normal in the investment world. So basically, it's time really to take a look at variable cost averaging and also maybe a little bit of market timing.
Yeah, that's great.
It's
I
like
mean-
being tactical with the situation, right?
Yes.
Since there's an opportunity that is presenting itself.
Yeah.
Because markets are recovering, especially those countries that have already implemented their vaccination programs.
And it's a good idea that you presented, Dr. Chu, that in bad times, double up your contribution so that you really
Yeah.
take advantage of the low prices, right?
Yeah, correct.
In this age that we have a lot of investments coming in, we have seen the flourishing or the popularity of the exchange traded funds. And these have become low cost investments for people who want to take advantage of opportunities in global markets. How do you view the investments in ETFs or in exchange traded funds?
Yeah, I also face some of these objections in the market. I want a low-cost index fund. I buy the exchange traded fund. There's no cost involved. But basically, the CFP in Malaysia, Certified Financial Planners, we have done actually a survey and research on this. It is found that actually, contrary to what the Western world says, that, oh, well, passive investment funds are actually doing even better than the fund managers. They're doing better than active fund managers. In Asia and elsewhere, like in Malaysia, we found that actually active investment is 95% more doing better than the index. Now, why is that so? Basically, in the developed country, they have a mature system. They make use of algorithms. They make use of this, and they actually they're in what we call a perfect market. Now, in a developing country like Malaysia, maybe perhaps the Philippines or Indonesia, there are lots of pockets of things that are doing well, but not being monitored by all these passive management. That's where we actually move in. And that's why we actually get a very sizable growth in terms of return, because, and it's found that this is one of the main reasons, because in the imperfect market like Asia, we find that a lot of opportunities hidden here and there.
Yes.
Not monitored by the, in the US, we believe it is so because the passive fund management are doing very well because more or less a perfect market, So it's very hard to identify those opportunities. Whereas in part of Asia, I think moving forward, active management have proven in Malaysia, 95% did better. 95% of the fund manager in active did better than the passive investment. So I don't know in Philippines, but basically you all can actually explore that and look at it. And I think Philippines also got a lot of imperfection like us, so there are opportunities we all can meet. So explain this to the client, and I got those articles to show them, and they're quite, they're quite impressed. They begin to say, "Okay, we believe you. We'll work from there."
Yep, that's right, Dr. Chu. In imperfect markets like in Asia, there are pockets of opportunities in sectors that go unnoticed.
Yes.
And this is where the active fund managers come in and take advantage of those opportunities to generate alpha for clients, right?
Correct.
That's great. That's great. So moving forward, what are the areas of concerns would you see for our prospects and our clients? What should they be looking out for?
Areas of concern. I think the fund, when they engage the financial advisor, you are supposed to help out for them, isn't it? So one of the areas they're looking at is actually the areas of concern is the retirement planning. Now, retirement planning is very important in this pandemic time, basically because the sequence of return will come in differently for different clients. So, and the first opportunity I'm looking today is also, besides the investment part, is also the retirement planning. Now, retirement planning is now becoming very real because the baby boomers are now getting old and they're about to retire. So the
Yes.
consistency of a return is important. The sequence of return is important. So we have to really look into those areas and how we can actually position the client to maximize or optimize the return based on their risk profile. So in fact, in this pandemic time, I find a lot of clients calling me up, hey, what should we do with our portfolio? And we look at the portfolio. Some of them don't really need to do anything. They just need to write over and you'll continue to grow, But some of them, unless they say, oh, I want to, take a more conservative position, because, then we can actually help them to do that. Otherwise, you want your money continue to grow and have income to grow. This is the way forward. So in the near future, I can see equities will be roaming up, and then the commodities will come in very strongly. Currently, I think gold is already went up quite a lot, a fair bit. Went up quite a fair bit. So by looking at the hard commodities, copper, things like that, iron ore, things like that.
I think part of it is the opening up of economies demanding more production of goods. That's why these commodities are going up. Those are very good insights, although we don't have commodities here yet, but it's good to learn about it even before it comes in. Who knows? We might have that in the future, or we might have access to it. I think some people do have access to that right now. Right, Sir Boyet?
Yes. There are funds that are focused on commodities.
Yeah, correct.
So
oil palm commodities, oil and gas, things like that.
Yes, oil and gas, especially. Energy is a very, very good focus sector now.
Yeah, I think I said some time ago, but I thought this is actually very important. About the colors of money. Most people
I remember that.
You remember that? Good. I think you don't mind I repeat that, right?
Can you please refresh my mind, because it's been quite a while since my course.
Basically, when we talk about colors of money, we talk about 4 types of money. The first money we deal with is called serious money. The FA or the financial advisor or the client must understand there's such thing called serious money. Serious money are for serious needs, such as critical illness, such as education, such as retirement, such as death. All these are, so this money are allocated for all these things. Of course, there are instruments to support all these things, like for death and disability, there is such things called insurance, and then for critical illness and so on and so forth, medical bill. So actually, the first type of money we are dealing with is called serious money. Now, in serious money, we do not want a high rate of return. We just want a fair rate of return. That's what we do. So most people say, "Oh, Jeff, the return's not very good. In this investment thing I buy, that's not great." It was not meant to be great. If the investment return is very high, don't buy. It's probably not serious money. Serious money, you need to take care of needs like death, disability, critical illness, medical, education, and so on. So you only want a fair rate of return. So the first money we're dealing with is serious money. So serious money usually deal with the medical plan, retirement plan, education funding, income protection plan, and so on. Okay. So this one, we don't need a high rate of return. We just want a fair rate of return. You give me 4%, 5%, I'm happy with that. Now, another type of money we are dealing with is number 2 is actually what we call idle money. These are money idling in your bank account. We are supposed to keep about 3 months to 6 months emergency fund. Remember that?
Yes.
Actually, anything more. Some of them keep 2 years, 3 years. Now, this money are just too lazy. You should take that money and invest, let them work a little bit harder. So those are called idling money. Another kind of idling money is, you buy a house and you keep paying the installment. And over the years, you accumulated quite an amount of equity inside the house. Now, you can use those equity to fund your other investment as well. Because the interest rate is not very high for housing. I don't know in Philippines right now because I'm out of touch with him for quite a while. But basically, if the equity is low, you can really take a look at that opportunity and then how we can use those idle money. The third type of money we are dealing with is actually called leverage money. Leverage. Use a small amount of money to get a big asset. For instance, you buy a $1 million house, you put in 10%, 100,000. So 10%, you get $1 million house. So that's called leveraging. Now, in leveraging, you need actually a reasonable rate of return because you're paying, you are leveraging your money. So the rate of return should be actually above average. And the third type of money we are dealing with is called borrow money. Now you borrow from the banking system, Incidentally, borrowing is actually a skill set you must learn. Most people don't learn about borrowing. Because we went to school, they teach us about saving, So you learn how to save money and all those things. But actually, borrowing is equally important. Think about the richest people in the world. They are all borrowers. They borrow huge amount of money and they invest the money and then they make a lot of money for themselves. It's the saver that actually don't get very much back, and you probably put into a banking institution, they give you 2 or 3%, that's it, and they make the difference in the investment. So borrow money, you must get a high rate of return. So if I want to go into business, I'm going to borrow from the bank, they're going to charge me 6% or 5%. I'm going to actually expect a profit of at least 30%, otherwise I'm doing you in the business, it's just too low, Yeah. So there you are, we divide our money into 4 segments. One is called serious money. These are for serious need, don't need a high rate of return. The other is idling money. You can use this part of this money to expand your investment opportunity. And the third type of money is called leverage money, using small amount of money, buy a big asset. And the fourth type of money is called borrow money, where you borrow from the system and try to increase your wealth as soon as you can, as fast as you can. Okay, there I cover all the 4 colors of money, right? Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that in the course.
Onwards, all the financial advisors like you should go out into the market and you should wear dark sunglasses.
Yeah.
Why dark sunglasses? People ask you, it's a rainy day, why are you wearing dark sunglasses? You say, because I can see my future very bright now. Okay, let's move on.
Squinting is not enough. Anyways, you've been in the industry for quite a while. In fact, your tenure in the industry is almost as old as, as young as many of our members in the association. So you've been in the industry for 39 years. 39 strong years, my goodness. Not everybody can say that. And you are already a life and qualifying member of the MDRT. And you have several memberships of the Court of the Table. And I even remember you even hit top of the table, right? Years ago. So what keeps you going? How were you able to sustain that vibrancy in business, that despite when most other people perhaps with the same length of stay in the industry already have stars waning and slowing things down, but you are still going strong? How do you do it? What keeps you up? What sustains you, Dr. Chiu?
I think it's an honor to be able to continue to work, And not only I'm working, I also doing a lot of social functions. For instance, some of the cases I close are pretty small cases. On the average year, I close about 300 over cases, individual life, 300 over cases. I sell to engineers, managers, and so on and so forth. Those are pretty small cases, but their company is probably my corporate client. So I'm, they approach me, and I do sell those small cases as well. Besides, but if I were to target myself, let's say if I'm young today and money is the concern, but now money is not my concern. It's no longer concern. Actually, I can stop working a long time ago. So if you are young today, you probably want to actually focus a bit different from what I'm doing. Suppose you're young, upcoming, you want to be a successful financial advisor, you want to accumulate wealth together with your client, then you have to listen to what I'm going to talk about the 21st century hospital. Now, I remember I gave a speech in Manila. I think because I go quite often to Manila those days, and I talk about the 21st century hospital. And today it's becoming so real.
Yes.
I say in the future, there'll be a hospital. No, sorry, 21st century hospital is actually a young couple was actually trying to put a frame photograph onto the wall and hit his nail, the husband. So the wife said, why don't you go to the modern hospital? And I must tell you, this hospital is very modern. It's actually very different from the rest of the hospital that you've been to. So the husband said, okay, I'll go to the hospital. It's just a bruise, So he went into the hospital, and then he looked in the hospital inside, when walk in, open the door, walk in. There's nobody inside. Then there's two signs on the on two doors. One say entrance, the other say exit. So you look at that. I just come in, it's got to be entrance, So you push open the entrance door and you see another empty room. Again, they got two doors. Then it's written outpatient, inpatient. And you look at his time, this got to be outpatient. So you push open the outpatient one, then you go into another room, another two sign there, first timer, regular. Hey, this is my first time here. He pushed himself in the first timer door, and then he saw another two door. One say major, minor. He look at this got to be minor. So you push open the minor door, he found himself outside the hospital. What's the moral of the story? Don't focus on the minor, focus on the major. What are your key performance index? What are the things that you need to do? Which particular market you want to go in? So to stay motivated, I think it's a very exciting world from the day I start working until now. I'm so excited. I continue to sell, not basically because I don't need the money now, I can retire anytime, but I continue to do it because I got this passion. I enjoy it very much, meeting new people, learning, and continue to relearn and try to identify the major areas that you need to improve on, and what are the major sector you want to focus on. Similar in the pandemic, I asked myself, what will be the next growth area coming in? Where can I help my client and help myself? Actually, my client actually follow most of my investment together with me. Of course, we also align to their risk profile. So basically, that's actually how I keep myself motivated. I enjoy very much, and I hope that you guys also enjoy your work. Learn to enjoy your work. It's like fun, really. Besides meeting people, we have a lot of challenges, and every day you learn something. For instance, lately I learned how to deal with a person with a fixed mindset. Sometimes in your life, you meet some client who have a fixed mindset. That's it. I want you this way. So how do you handle this kind of people? So I learned the like wonder. John, I like the way you actually do your investment. I like the way you actually understand what you're doing. I wonder, do you have any objection to a higher rate of return? See where we're going from? If you have more likes than wonder, then you can actually move the client forward. And this is very useful when you deal with customers who have a fixed mindset. Of course, another way to handle this in my life, I learned, now where do I get all these things you ask? On the way learning, the clients are teaching you, and now I got a system of handling a client with fixed mindset, like wonder. I like this, I wonder whether you'll do this or not, So another one I use very often actually in helping clients is I do what we call the FFF, feel, felt, found method. John, I understand how you feel about the exchange traded fund. I felt the same way too. It's a low cost exchange traded fund, you should do it. But this is what I found. I found in the latest survey by this financial institution, I say what I want to say. So you see, this is a way of handling. We have to learn. So you got two skill set now, get going, get cracking, and start moving on that. Okay, so let's roll on.
So nice.
Yeah.
I'm remembering a lot of things that you taught us during the course.
I enjoy very much too.
Those things never get old. They're still very true and useful until today. And I will always carry it with me. Sometimes I remember all of these whenever I have meetings. I get to use them. So thank you so much. You
Thank you.
really, you really made a big impact in my life, Dr. Chu.
Thank you.
And
Well-
after all these years, we can still feel your passion, your enthusiasm, and how you're alive when you're telling us stories about working with clients, about helping them. I mean, we see how driven you are, and and I guess that's what made you very successful.
Thank you. Thank you. I guess
Anyway,
the challenge is actually, keep on learning. I mean, many people stopped learning a long, long time ago. That's where they didn't grow. I'm glad to be able to sell at my age now, I enjoy very much because some of the colleagues that I've seen or classmates that I have, some of them, they have retired for so many years. They don't know what's happening in the marketplace. They're not in touch with technology, and things are changing. So glad to be able to work, continue to work. In fact, every night before I sleep, I pray to God, give me one more day so I can protect more and more life.
wow.
Yes.
That's a good prayer.
Yeah.
That's a very good prayer.
Yeah.
Anyways, just a question. Since everything is being done online right now, are you seeing more people now than before? Since there are no restrictions as to traffic, things like that, and scheduling. Maybe it's easier to schedule them now. Is that the same situation with you? Do you see more people now than before?
We cannot move out of the house. We have to stay at home. So
Yeah.
actually, I'm seeing more people now, to use the word seeing, in the sense that I call more people and they got more time to answer me because they're at home doing nothing. In the meantime, there's not much they can do. They got more time to look at their policies. They got more time to look at their investment. They got more time actually. In fact, we have been receiving calls from them after my webinar. They call in and say, "Hey, Jeff, I got this issue," and they provide so many opportunities to sell. And I think last year I closed about 300 over cases, and this year I'm going to close that much as well. Of course, some of them are done by my staff. That they just taking the paper, but the basic selling is done on my end. So I think moving forward is actually you'll be surprised that most people got more time to look at their insurance, to look at their investment, and as compared to working times. So thereby lie the opportunities. For business owner, the opportunities is actually in when you look at a business organization, there are three things that are concerned for most business. Number one, they are concerned about profits.
Yeah.
All business must make profit. Then the purpose. What is the purpose of our firm? What are we doing? And the third one is legacy. So the last part is actually where we come in, as actually talking about business succession planning. Mm-hmm. So at this point of time, they know they are quite vulnerable. They know that actually a virus can kill them. They begin to say, "Hey, Jeff, what should I do?" That's when we talk about key man policy, talk about sub-plan, talk about a buy-sell agreement, talk about insurance as a funding vehicle. So there are a lot of opportunity. I got more time these days to talk with the people that I want to talk with than in a normal time. Too busy running, to pursue their dreams. So now they got more time to look at it and say, "Gee, leave my children, what will happen next?" I say two things will happen. He can make some small mistake, that's okay. The company can absorb it. The corporation can absorb it. But if he make the big business, he will absorb the company. So that's where we're going to move you to now. I think you actually give a proposal to him and tell him how he can protect this. And I just recently saw a big case, and the client after that, he signs up a deal remotely. And he gave his medical report, which is done about 4 or 5 months ago, and something. And you know what he said, Jeffrey, I want to thank you because tonight I can sleep in peace. Mm-hmm. Knowing that if something happened to him, his family should be okay.
Yeah. Very nice. Very nice.
So it's exciting times, isn't it?
Yeah, it's exciting.
Exciting, yeah.
And then you move into telling business owner about triggering event.
Yeah.
Now, what is triggering event? So when you take a gun, a pistol, and when you pull the trigger of the pistol, the bullet will shoot onto the target and then explode.
Yes.
So today, when you walk out of the business, you will set a series of triggering events. Debtors will come to chase for their money. The bank will withdraw the facilities because it's a different person managing now. And a lot of things will come in. Creditors will come and chase for their money. Supply will come to a stop. So how prepared are you for that? So there are a lot of opportunities nowadays to talk about all these things where the business owner in the past, where they're busy running for business, they got no time to really look at that, you know? Mm-hmm. So now is the time to talk about business succession planning, the legacy part. And for the individual, the retirement planning part. So these are opportunities, I think, is very evident. So if you are concerned about, oh, gee, I don't know much of the same things that I don't have so much knowledge, don't worry, it's okay. You know, remember this guy met an accident, he was rushed to the hospital, and the doctor looked at him, it was quite serious problem, and he said to the guy, very nervous patient, he was very nervous. He said, doctor, I'm very, very nervous. This is my first operation. And the doctor looked at him and said, I am also very nervous. This is also my first operation. So everybody got a first time to get moving, you know. So it's okay, learn something along the way, correct it if it's wrong, then keep on moving up. Nobody got all the knowledge on day one, including me, including a lot of speakers as well.
Some of the things we really learn along the way, right?
Yes, it's reminded to you.
Yeah.
I think the IRC is a very important body. I tell you how I get involved with the IRC long time ago. So I was reading an article from the IRC. It was a very impressive article. It says, the article title headline is, have you converted your hobbies into a business? Hobbies. Then he went on to say the hobby costs money. So, but if you convert it into a business, you probably can be making money as well or saving money and as well. And after I finished the article, and I said I want to get involved with this association called the International Association of Registered Financial Consultants. I wrote in and I get involved with them. And I became the first Asia chairman to do appointed to help them to expand this part of the world. So it was a very important article. That article helped my client tremendously. So my client actually have a lot of art collections, a lot of paintings. Paintings are basically divided into three types, you all know, realistic painting, modern arts, and various types of painting. So anyway, he was collecting a lot of painting, and I say, is this a business or a hobby? He told me it's a hobby. Then I tell him that actually hobby costs money. You need to maintain this. You cannot write off rental. No, now I'll help you to convert it into a business. So we register for the company, and then he's renting this space from himself. You know, this company is renting, and then he hired the children to keep the data and things like that to clean up the place. So all these things. Now for the first time, actually they can go for vacation. They have to visit some museum. They have to visit some of those art galleries. You know, to say they are on a business trip, and they can write it up. See the beauty of it. So we help them. So I think this organization actually have helped us a lot, and helped me a lot particularly. So I owe it to them to promote the RFC cause in this part of the world. And we did just that, and now it is passed on, the handle has been passed on to some of you, all your EXCO in the IRC. So I think those who are non-IRC should actually join immediately, and you will learn from the type of material we have actually available in the IARC. You know? So it's very important to get your enrollment for IARC. Thank you.
On behalf of our executive producer, Ms. Grace De Vera Escobar, and our advisor, Ms. Susan Capa, this is the RFC Tuesday podcast saying,
it is better to be in the know than to be the last to know. Thank you.
Good night, everyone. Thank you for joining us
everyone.
in tonight's
Thank you, guys.
episode. Stay safe.